Hello there, you amazing viewers and subscribers, and welcome to the brand new episode of my brand new series that's coming out every single Monday, and that is ranking every single season from each decade of Doctor Who. So part one was the swinging 60s, where I talked about basically the 6 seasons that came out in the 60s. So now we are jumping into the most fantastic decade of Doctor Who there's ever been, and that is the 1970s. Even though the bad seasons for the 70s aren't really that bad. It's not like, it's not like basically the Whittaker era. I mean, the 70s are a lot better than, that's looking at Series 11 and a little bit of Series 12. So yeah, ranking all of the 1970s seasons. Now, to be honest with you, there are 11 places because during the 1970s we had 11 seasons. And that's absolutely brilliant. I mean, 11 seasons for me to sit down here and to rank for you. So, are you all sitting comfortably in your long scarves, your nice smoke jackets, your frilly shirts, and are you ready to do the Nusiedo Kai, you know what I mean? Or are you exiled onto this planet like the third Doctor was because the time was to change the demilitarization codes? So let's dive in how I rank each season from the 1970s. So jumping into right at the bottom, and I'm sorry to say this one, right at the bottom in 11th place, it is Season 9. Now, Season 9 has grown on me quite a lot thanks to the Blu-ray, and I have to be honest with you, my favourite story out of the Pertwee era is from this season, but this is very much like the weakest link for the Pertwee seasons. I'm sorry to say that. Yes, you have the fantastic Day of the Doctor, Day of the Daleks, you have the fantastic The Curse of Paladon, you've got the almighty fantastic story, The Sea Devils, and then you have the kind of two stories that really make this season kind of drag down a bit. I mean, you have the mutants that really drop the quality of the season because at the moment when you got Day of the Darks and then you got The Curse and then you got straight at the top, you got the Sea Devils and then blop down to, as we all know, the mutants. But then it does kind of go back up a little bit for the Time Monster for me. But I really don't care for the mutants. I really think it is a terrible story. It's my least favourite Doctor Who story completely. I really don't like the mutants. And I'm so sorry to put Season 9 at the bottom because it does have three good stories in there. Basically, The Curse of Paladon, Day of the Daleks, and The Sea Devils, it does have them. So in 10th place, basically this is the second to last favourite of the 70s. I'm probably going to get some people coming after me with this for this season, and I'm sorry to say it is season 16. Season 16, even though it's the very first time we kind of had like a season arc with the whole key to time, but there are some stories that I just physically cannot focus on that I'm actually enjoying more than the others above this one. I mean, I don't really care for the first story, the Reboss Operation. Part 1 of the episode is actually quite good because it really does introduce us to the White Guardian, introduce us to the concept of the key to time, and of course we do get to meet Romana Lalandalunda. I hope I've said it right. It is a very complicated Gallifreyan name, but aka Romana. But then parts 2 to 4 really dip for me a little bit, but then you go straight up from a dip story straight up to the top where you got the pirate planet. Then you got the Stones of Blood on the same level. Then the Andros Atara drops a little bit back down. Then you have the Power of Coal, which does kind of go a little bit back up. I'm sorry to say that for another sci-fi guy. And then you have the Armageddon Factor that does kind of shoot back up for me. Yeah, I do really enjoy the Power of Coal more than another sci-fi guy does, but I don't really get why he doesn't really like the Power of Coal. I need to watch his review he did a couple of years ago back on it. But I do enjoy season 16 just for the pirate planet, the Stones of Blood, and the Armageddon Factor. The two kind of dud stories for me is basically the Reboss Operation and the Androids of Tara. But the Power of Coal isn't really that bad. I mean, I watched that recently and I love Power of Coal. I really do think it's a good story. I need to give it another rewatch, basically. So yeah, in 10th place, it is season 16. In number 9th place, it is Season 8, Pertwee's second season. Now, this season has got quite a good dip of quality stories, but it does kind of have one story to me that is a little bit of a dud. And again, I do owe you a massive apology, another sci-fi guy. He's probably going to send a Dalek to exterminate me, so I'm literally looking out my window now in case a flying Dalek does come to kill me. The weak link of that season is Connery in space. I mean, part episodes 1 to 3 are so boring. I just really don't zoom into that story, not like other stories I can do. And then it does get good from episodes 4 to 6, but the first part of it does kind of dip in quality, which means the story does dip in quality for me. But then, of course, you have stories like Terror of the Autons, The Mind of Evil, The Claws of Axos, and The Daemons. Oh my god, The Daemons. I just flipping love The Daemons. I think it's a great story. Azel! Azel! Destroy him, and you will give your power to me! I absolutely do enjoy The Daemons. I mean, I absolutely love... As I say before, I absolutely do love the Claws of Axos, because it was the very first story I ever watched with my dad to introduce me to Roger Delgado's Master, so I have great memories of that as well. Then number 8, so in 8th place, it is... Oh, no, I'm probably going to get shot for this one, and I'm sorry to say it. It is season 15. Now, it doesn't mean I don't hate any of these seasons. It just means some stories do dip in quality for me to enjoy. Season 15, I had to put this a bit higher because it does have one story that I just absolutely flipping love from it, and that is the Horror of Fang Rock. I really consider Horror of Fang Rock to be a fantastic story, really great quality. It's absolutely brilliant. It does kind of fit in with the Philip Hinchcliffe era, but it's not part of the Philip Hinchcliffe era though. But it does have some great stuff because it introduces us to the Rootons. I mean, the second best story of the season for me is definitely Image of the Fandal and the Sunmakers, but when you get to the other 3 stories, they do kind of dip a bit. So like I said with season 16, yeah, it really starts off with a very high note, then you get to the Invisible Enemy, does dip a little bit, but it does introduce us to K9, and then it kind of goes back up a bit with the Image of the Fandal, then you get to the Sunmakers, it's up that level, then you get to Underworld, which does kind of fall like that, and then you've got the Invasion Time that does kind of bring it back up to my kind of standards, what I personally love about the season. But for me, there are 3 good stories in this season, which is basically Horror Fang Rock, The Invisible Enemy, and The Sunmakers. I really think those are the 3 great stories. Where The Invisible Enemy just kind of dips a little bit for me from this season, but it's still pretty much of a good season. And then, of course, number 7. So in 7th place, it is season 14. So we're going straight from Tom's basically 4th main series as the 4th Doctor into his 3rd season as the 4th Doctor. So season 14, it is so much better for me than season 15, but there is quite a few stories I really just don't really think I can go back and rewatch. Even though it is out on Blu-ray, I only watched the story from rewatching the whole of season 14. So the first story I really think is very, very dip in quality is The Mask of Mandragora. I absolutely do not enjoy The Mask of Mandragora. Yes, I do like the whole setting in Italy. I really think it's got a good story set in Italy. I just don't really find myself drawing straight into it. And I don't know why. So for me to actually say what I enjoy from season 14, so the stories I actually do enjoy is The Hand of Fear, which is again up there, Deadly Assassin, Face of Evil, Robots of Death, and The Talents of Wing Chun. They're all on the top level, where the first story is basically just that kind of level, where the others are literally like that. I enjoy the rest of the stories from the season. I do have a few issues with The Hand of Fear. I don't really like the fact we go from the woman, the woman Aldrad, and then we go to the bloke version of Aldrad played by, I think it's the same bloke who played Omega in the 3 Doctors, even though he is quite good. Sorry. But I don't really care for that bit, though. I just don't really care for The Mask of Mandragora, and I'm sorry to say that. Number 6. So in 6th place, oh boy, this one has, my opinion on it has changed. Because if I did this video about a couple of years back, this would have been right at the bottom. It is season 17. Season 17 has gone so much in quality for me thanks to the Blu-ray. I absolutely do love season 17, and that's the thanks to me actually watching Sade. I like for the original 6 parts, as it was intended to be, but that's thanks to the, as I said, Doctor of the Collection season 17. This season has really dipped in high quality for me. Again, I don't know if it's because of the Blu-ray. I don't know if it's because I didn't watch all the stories all the way through. I just kind of watched, like, when I watch a season, I don't really tend to watch a whole season on the DVD as like one. I just tend to see what kind of mood I'm in. But thanks to the Blu-rays, I get to watch an entire whole season in one go. And I did that with season 17, back when it came back in December in 2021. I just absolutely binge watched the entire whole season, and it was the best thing I ever did, apart from working in between the binge watching. So Death to the Daleks is not Death to the Daleks, sorry, Destiny the Daleks again is a brilliant season opener. I really do enjoy that one. I do like them villains. Then of course we have my favourite story of the season, The City of Death. Then of course we have The Creature from the Pit, which is again quite a good story. Then you have the Nightmare of Eden and the Horns of Nimon. Again, they are on the same quality. And then you get to Shada, and that's back on the high quality. So this whole season, I cannot pick a story to have faults with it, even though some people do not enjoy season 17. I actually quite enjoy it, and I do like Lyanna Ward as Romana, the second incarnation of Romana. I have to be honest about that. Number 5. So now we're into the 5 top seasons of the 70s. So number 5 is season 11. Now, I've recently started rewatching season 11. I mean, I did my review on Invasion of Dinosaurs a couple of days ago. I have to be honest with you, the Invasion of Dinosaurs is the one story I really consider to be the bad penny of season 11. And my God, rewatching that story recently has really changed my opinion. This season, it is another standout season, and it does give Jon Pertwee his fantastic finale season as the Third Doctor. I absolutely love all of the stories. I really think they are of very, very high quality. There are a couple of masterpieces in this season I really do consider to be masterpieces. So we have The Time Warrior, which I do consider to be a masterpiece. We have Planet of the Spiders, which I do consider that to be a masterpiece. And to be honest with you, I'm starting to class the Invasion of the Dinosaurs as a masterpiece because I really do enjoy it and I think it's absolutely brilliant. Again, we do have the Monster of Peladon. I don't really like what they did with the Ice Warriors, basically making them go back to the old ways when basically the Curse of Peladon basically tried to fix that, making them go a bit good in the evolution. I don't really care for what the Monster of Peladon done. I mean, New Who kind of does it a lot better than what this story could do. And I don't really say that often for New Who. I mean, the 2 Ice Warrior stories we've had for New Who with Matt Smith and Peter Capaldi, they are so much better than the Monster of Peladon, and I'm sorry to say that they really are. Number 4. So in 4th place, we jump into another Pertwee season, and it's his very first season, season 7. This season, I absolutely cannot flaw, not one. Yes, I do think some stories do kind of drag, but it's an actually iconic season. It's Pertwee's first season, and when I actually sat down last year to watch the whole first season, on the DVDs, I don't normally do that often. I just like pick stories on the DVDs, and I normally watch the whole season on the Blu-ray. And I've been doing that since 2018. And then now and again, I just kind of pick stories that season 12, sorry, not 18. And I just kind of pick what stories I kind of want to watch normally on the DVDs. But now with the thanks to the Blu-rays, I actually do watch the whole season in one go, which is absolutely brilliant for me to do. I do kind of pick some of the DVDs that have already been released on Blu-ray, but I normally watch the Blu-rays more often now than I do for the DVDs. So now, as I was saying, season 7, it has Spearhead from Space, it has Doctor Who and the Silurians, it has the Ambassadors of Death, and of course, it has Inferno. This season has 2 masterpieces, and the other 2 stories I think are really good quality. I mean, the 2 masterpiece stories that in this season is literally Spearhead from Space and Inferno, and that's what I love about this season. It's got 2 great stories, and it really gives Pertwee the best start of a new Doctor's era. Number 3, so in 3rd place, we are now jumping into season 12. Season 12, I did try to put this in top spot because I just really enjoy the other 2 seasons above this one. Season 12, it was the first season to be released on Blu-ray, and my God, to actually sit down and binge watch this whole season on Blu-ray, which I've done countless of times since 2018. It's absolutely brilliant. You have every single story in the season I consider to be a masterpiece, especially when you got the Ark in Space and Genesis the Daleks, and then it's just, I really think them 2 are like a sandwich really, because in the middle, say it's like the cheese or the ham in your sandwich, the story in the middle, which is the Santana Experiment, which is the filling bit before you get to the main event, which is absolutely brilliant, because I do really think all of these stories are masterpieces. And yes, I actually do consider Revenge of the Cybermen to be a masterpiece. I don't get why this story had so much backlash. When I first watched this DVD and the story on DVD, I got told by a few friends, "Oh, it's not really a good one. It's not really great." But you know what? It's absolutely a brilliant story. I absolutely love Revenge of the Cybermen, and I do consider it to be a masterpiece. Number 2. So in second place, we now jumping in back into Pertwee, and it is season 10. This is the best season for Jon Pertwee's Doctor, and it's his 4th season as the 3rd Doctor. I absolutely do love this season. Flat out, I just absolutely pure love it. Just flat out, absolutely, because I do enjoy every single one of these stories. Yes, I do think Planet of the Daleks is not the best Dalek story for Pertwee, but we do have Day and Death to the Daleks for it. But I actually do enjoy the other stories. Like, considering we have the very first ever multi-Doctor story in this season. The 3 Doctors, and that is done absolutely brilliant to celebrate the 10th season of Doctor Who. Con of the Monsters, again, that is just another masterpiece. I really love that one. Then, of course, we have Frontier in Space. Again, I really think Frontier in Space, it is a great story, and it does get us to see Roger Delgado for one last time before his untimely death. And the one good thing about having seasons 8, 9, and 10 on Blu-ray back to back, you can just sit down and watch every single story with Roger Delgado's Master on Blu-ray or on VHS or on DVD. Knowing me, I'll probably be watching them all on the Blu-rays because I just absolutely love Roger Delgado's Master. My second favourite Master. You will obey me. You will obey me. I just absolutely love season 10. I mean, yes, the finale is another masterpiece of a 6-part story, which is The Green Death, and it is absolutely splendid of a story. And then number 1, you've probably seen this coming if you've watched my channel so many times, especially when I did my big, massive ranking series. The number 1 season of the 1970s, for me, is season 13. This season, I absolutely have to admit, there are no complete duds. Every single story in here is a masterpiece, apart from the Android Invasion, but I think that's a good story as well, because I actually quite enjoy that one a lot more than I used to when I first watched it, when it first was released on DVD, when I watched it with my dad, but back in 2011-2012 time period. I absolutely do love this season. I mean, Terror of the Saigons, fantastic story, definitely a masterpiece. Planet of Evil, again, a masterpiece. Pyramids of Mars, a flat-out masterpiece there and then. And then, of course, we have the 2 finale stories of the season, which is basically The Brain of Morbius and The Seas of Doom. And they are just 2 of the complete masterpieces of that season. I just really love season 13. Season 13 is the one season I just love watching random stories from on DVD. I mean, I really want it to come out on Blu-ray at some point. Hopefully in the next year or 2. I just absolutely love season 13. And most people in the fandom actually just class season 13 to be the best season from the 70s, from what I've been talking to. And they really think that the BBC's going to hold off giving us season 13 to make sure it is the last Tom Baker season we are going to get on the Doctor Little Collection range. But season 13, I just absolutely love. So that is me ranking all 11 seasons from the 70s. What is your favourite story from the 70s? Let me know in the comments. Please do like, subscribe and share, and join me for more awesome Doctor Who content. Thank you for watching and have a cracking day.